Welcome to Wildlife. You're about to see a brand new collection of jaw-dropping animal moments you simply can't look away from. Let's dive in. In India, something truly heartwarming happened. Even seasoned zoologists were stunned. A young gazelle accidentally fell into a pond and couldn't get out. But then, a kind elephant walked over, gently scooped her up with his trunk, and lifted her to safety. Want to see what bees look like landing near their hive in slow motion? They're not exactly precise. Maybe that nectar got them a little tipsy. This little chick somehow decided to join a family of ducklings, and even started swimming with them in the water. 1 year later, meet the swimming rooster. The person filming clearly knew that one of these silly birds was about to get zapped. And he was right, the bird falls. The man thought it was over, but somehow, the bird springs back to life, regains consciousness, and flies away. This curious little lamb came dangerously close to a deadly cobra. Luckily, a man nearby knew exactly what to do. A clever trick with a thin pipe saved the day. A swan wasn't happy about these kayakers, and decided to launch a full attack. It looked dramatic, but thankfully, no one got hurt. Spotting a lone dog, these two punks immediately attack. But as soon as they see 7 more dogs charging behind, they quickly cool their jets. When your puppy wants food at 4 in the morning, it looks exactly like this. This cyclist had absolutely insane reflexes, and it might have saved his life. At a greyhound race, a man suddenly runs onto the track and plants a barrier right in the dog's path. He hides the lure behind it, the one the dogs are chasing. The dogs abruptly veer off, disoriented, completely stopping in their tracks. It's a job that has to be done fast and flawlessly. The man noticed a small hole in the ground and decided to peek inside. Turns out, it was a chicken nest. Sometimes fishermen get really lucky. He spotted a giant tail sticking out of a barrel. The fish had gotten stuck, and this was by far the easiest catch of his life. In a Chicago Aldi store, customers were in total shock. Inside the meat freezer, calmly sitting among the packages, was a wild coyote. No one knows how he got there, but he looked confused and scared. Luckily, they managed to remove him safely and released him back into the wild. Next, an incredible slow-mo moment, a chameleon fires its tongue with lightning speed. It stretches almost the full length of its body, hitting its prey with pinpoint accuracy. The wind-up, the strike, the catch, all in slow motion, looks like something straight out of science fiction. This puma knew exactly where the chicken was hiding, and in seconds, it snatched it in its jaws and vanished. This hawk attacked a duck, but the prey was too big to carry in its talons. Lucky for the duck, 2 geese came to the rescue and scared off the predator. A crocodile doesn't notice the jaguar perched above him on a branch. He thinks he's safe, until the jaguar leaps. Both disappear under the water. This time though, the jaguar got unlucky, the croc got away. 2 coyotes spotted a lone chicken on the edge of a village. They pounced, coordinated and fast. The chicken ran, but it didn't stand a chance. Wild scene, straight out of the savannah. The most expensive herding dog was just sold in the UK. A border collie named Megan fetched a record-breaking $25,000. She's a pro at herding sheep and comes from a flawless bloodline, which all contributed to the sky-high price. The chicks of this beautiful jack-and-a-bird happily run across lily pads floating on the water. But danger is never far, and their father is always alert. When a crocodile came close, Dad quickly tucked his babies under his wings and carried them to safety. One guy tried teasing a dog lying quietly on the roadside. Big mistake. The calm dog sprang up and jumped straight into the man's car. Lesson learned: never mess with a streetwise dog. This dove clearly skipped biology class. She sat on chicken eggs and, surprise, hatched baby chicks. She looks stunned, but she's now warming and protecting them like her own. And here comes the final leap of this beautiful, but not so bright koi fish. At first glance, these might look like bizarre sea creatures with tons of thin arms. But look closer, and you'll see nature's cosmic wonder. Brittle stars with branching limbs that spiral like galaxies. During the day, they hide in cracks, but once night falls, their fractal arms reach out to catch tiny food particles drifting in the water. Zookeepers weren't quick enough, and now they're trying to remove live rabbits from inside a pelican's throat. Believe it or not, there's a spider that lives underwater and brings its own scuba gear. It spins a bubble-shaped web and fills it with air gathered at the surface. Not science fiction, this is nature's very own aquatic engineer. A tourist tried to escape a bear by climbing a tree. The predator nearly got him, until pepper spray changed the game in an instant. Every day, hundreds of fish put on a show for visitors at this Chinese lake, leaping gracefully from the water. Got roaches at home? Chances are, they're crawling up through your sink's drain pipe. Here's a quick trick to block their entry. Hummingbirds are so tiny, they sometimes get snagged by thorny plants. Someone always has to come to the rescue. Here's a stunning slow-motion shot of a bee colliding with a hummingbird. This is a Dong Tao chicken, also known as the dragon chicken, a rare Vietnamese breed with enormous legs, originally from the village of Dong Tao. Once reserved for royalty, these chickens are still considered a delicacy in Vietnam today. I was shocked, for dogs circling right next to a huge crocodile, barely inches from death. But after watching the clip again, I realized, it's all fake. These days, even AI can fool the eye. This dog's got a problem. He brakes so hard, he literally smashed through a wall. His owner's not gonna love that, but it sure looks hilarious on video. This python tried to flee from a crocodile, but his biggest mistake was biting the croc right on the nose. After that insult, the crocodile didn't give him a second chance. Up next, a male praying mantis accidentally stumbles into the web of a giant spider. A wild encounter that ends with the spider showing off just how fast it can paralyze its prey. This baby elephant instantly knew that water pool was for him and started splashing around like a toddler. His mom joined in, cooling herself down with trunkfuls of water. At Louisville Zoo, an orangutan named Amber noticed a visitor holding a newborn baby. She approached the glass, locked eyes with the infant, and gestured gently to take a closer look. The father carefully brought the baby close. Amber leaned in and stared in silence, a magical moment, filled with emotion. When a monitor lizard crept up on a baby goat, the mama goat didn't flinch. No panic, no fuss, just a lightning-fast move worthy of a kung fu master. Meet the devil's flower mantis, nature's predator in disguise. He doesn't just hide among petals, he is the petals. His body mimics blooming flowers so perfectly that prey land right on him and become lunch. Big, bright, hypnotically beautiful, he uses his looks as a deadly trap. A rare face-off, a leopard versus a sloth bear. The bear stood tall, trying to intimidate. But the leopard didn't flinch, didn't back down. No bites, no scratches, just a powerful stare. And a clear winner. In Astana Zoo, a drunk man climbed into a giraffe enclosure and tried to ride it. The giraffe was clearly frightened, but didn't attack. Onlookers filmed the chaos. It caused outrage across the internet. This isn't just dangerous, it's downright cruel. This curious little elephant strolled up to some street vendors and politely asked for a cucumber. And of course, no one could say no. If you don't know what this is, these are pitcher plants, carnivorous traps that easily digest insects. They're not dangerous to bigger animals though, and bats often use them as cozy shelters for the night. One man had had enough of the strange buzzing inside his wall. So he opened it up and found a massive beehive. In the end, he even managed to catch the queen. Curious what your cat does when you're not home? One owner strapped a camera to his cat, and suddenly, it's like a video game. The footage shows the cat walking on narrow beams like a true acrobat. Not a single misstep, pure feline precision. Now here's a true swamp lover. This little guy threw himself a full-on celebration in a filthy puddle, splashing, spinning, squealing with joy. Feeding big fish near the pier always looks fun, but no one expected a monster like this to rise from the depths.
That was perfect.
He spotted a sea turtle whose mouth was completely covered in barnacles and shells. She couldn't breathe or eat. Without hesitation, he took a knife and gently cleaned her mouth, bit by bit. When he was done, she calmly swam away. These clueless tourists thought it was funny to lure trusting raccoons toward a crocodile. The croc was hidden, ready to strike. One wrong step, and it would have been over. It ended safely, but risking an animal's life for a laugh? That's not entertainment. It's cruelty. A zebra named Ed was finally captured after escaping from a ranch. He belonged to Taylor and Laura Ford from Tennessee. The search ended in a field, where a private helicopter spotted Ed using infrared. Once they threw the net, Ed was airborne and heading home. This dog is so used to the robotic vacuum cleaner, he doesn't even notice it anymore. In Lassen National Park, someone captured an incredibly rare sight, the Sierra Nevada red fox. There are only a few dozen left in the wild. It walks gracefully across the snowy slope, alert to every sound. Like a shadow from a vanishing world. A large bird got stuck inside a tiny feeder and couldn't escape. One man took action, gently trying different tools to set it free without harm. After a long struggle, success. The bird flew away. A fearless baby hippo casually steps over crocodiles who scramble to get away, and then he even sits on one. This hawk was completely confused by a decoy duck. No feathers flew, no blood spilled, just frustration and a stunned expression. This beehive removal didn't go at all as planned. A woman saw two crows attacking a helpless baby opossum and jumped in to save him. What followed was a touching journey of trust and healing. When he grew strong, he was released back into the wild. This isn't just a caterpillar, it's a miniature architect. Meet the bagworm caterpillar, an insect that always carries its home. From day one, it builds a tiny bag from sand, sticks, and leaf bits held together with silk. A real armored sleeping bag, perfect for crawling and hibernating. She kept hearing a faint hum at night. Maybe it was the wiring, a draft, or just her imagination. But when the sound grew louder and the wall seemed to come alive, she finally looked behind the panel. There it was, a full beehive tucked inside the wall of her bedroom. Honeycombs, queen, workers, the whole buzzing empire.